2002 Ford Excursion 7.3 fuel return line replacement. Part number, Ford genuine part. Step 1, disconnect both battery terminals. It's 8mm. Take the negative off both sides. Spray down the charge air screws on the boots, clamps on the boots. Spray this down with penetrant, make it easy to get those off. Now on the Spider, I'll take the screw out of the wastegate actuator and set it aside. Then down here, I'll take the intake air temperature sensor loose, set it aside. And then here, I'll take the positive and negative off of the intake air heater and lay them aside. The wastegate actuator here, I have the screw out, put it back in the hole, so this I can just lay aside. And then the intake air heater, this is a captured nut that stays on the positive. Okay, that stays together. And then the spacer faces that way. It's a ceramic insulator. Then the negative can come off. Down here, this I already have it loose. This is the intake air temperature sensor. This clamp I pulled back. This is on the manifold air pressure sensor. I'm just going to wiggle that line off. And then over here is a vacuum line for the wastegate, and I can just pull it right off. There it is. Now with all this stuff disconnected from the Spider, I'm going to go up here, and this is the manifold air pressure sensor that I'm going to take this screw out, well, both screws out, and just set it aside. Then I'm going to go after this clamp, and then down here, oh, where are you? There's a clamp down in here. And that's the lower charge air cooler clamp. There it is. And I'll take it loose, and then we'll wiggle this charge air pipe out of here. I'm gonna take the transmission dipstick out too, just to make a little bit of room here. Charge air cooler clamps are loose. Just pull it apart now. And wiggle it up out of here, I guess. Yeah, so it looks like I had to go forward, well, I guess backward toward the back of the vehicle. Pop the tube off of this, and then it can go down inside there, which brings this end up, and I should be able to pick it up out of here now. Yep. And there it is. Okay, now I'm going to loosen this clamp. And on this side, I'm going to go after the top clamp of the intake boot. I will loosen this clamp. And then over here, I will loosen the bottom clamp on this intake boot. Okay, those 4 clamps are loose. This one here is kind of in sections, like you see, and they were kind of stuck, but I just put a small pry bar in there and gave it a little tap. Tap that one loose, tap that one loose, and then I was able to tap that bottom one loose, and it popped right off, and you got it loose enough and push it back toward the turbo, and now this Spider should just pull and rock right out of here. And it's kind of feeling like a two-hand job, so, oh, there it goes, maybe not. Yep. There we go. Okay, with that out of the way, now I put some clean rags in the 2 intake ducts here in the the air coming out of the turbo, and then you can't see it right now, I'm all covered up, but the line coming out of the intercooler down here. I just plugged all those holes with clean sharp rags to keep any critters from crawling in there or from dropping anything in there. Next, I'm going to go after the heater hose. I'm just going to pop it loose out of this little bracket back here, and then up here, and up here. Here we are. Okay, I'd already popped loose. Gonna lay it over here, and then I'm going to take this. This looks like the intake air heater solenoid. Looks like 2 screws in the base. I'm going to take it out because it's in my way here. I need to get down in below. Then I'm going to take this off again, 1 screw on each side, and I think this harness will just lay over, and that'll give me some room to get the pipe out from underneath all this. That pipe I'm talking about is the return fuel line. Okay, I got those mounting nuts loose. Now this just pulls right off and sets aside. This pulls off and sets aside. And the reason I did this is because I need to get to this line here, which goes into the bottom of the fuel bowl down here. So now is time to get that fitting loose right here. And then if you follow the line back, the leak is actually back up in here. And the line continues up. This is it back here. And I need to take the fitting out back here. That's gonna be the tricky one. Okay, that line is loose now. For that back one, I used a crow's foot 3/8 drive. It was a little bit of a climb to get in there, but it worked out. And I forgot about a clamp that was right here. There's a clamp on there that goes to that fuel line. The back one, like I said, it's out. I popped it loose. This clamp is off. And up front here, we're also loose and ready to just pop that straight out. And then I can fish that pipe out of there. Pipe. Keep calling it a pipe. It's a fuel line. So there it is. It's out. This was at the fuel bowl end. This was back toward the rear. This was the clamp in between. And the clamp was the culprit of the failure. You see here, it actually gouged the line. Right there is where it was mounted. And it put a hole right in the line. So I had fuel shooting all over the valley. But the new one ought to take care of it. So that's all. I'll do install reverse of removal, and we should be up and running.